no fue escalando.
Why? ¿Por qué?
Mi amigo cambias, cambian
¿Cambió?
las planas y mm, demasiado personas van a estar en el carro para mí.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
5 personas. It was gonna be just me and him, and then they said these other people's ride crapped out, and he can't say no. He's a big member of this gym, so he's always there. And not that I'm a prima donna or anything, but I just didn't feel like getting, I'm not 12 anymore, so I can't just handle trying to organize 5 people, So, voy, ¿cómo se dice? I did. Hago? No.
No, Hago is I'm doing.
Yeah.
Issei, that's an irregular.
He say, boy, or he say,
You did what?
Oh no, he say ir, a la Laguna Hansen, he bouldered.
What do you mean?
So
went?
I did go climbing in another place. That's what I was trying.
Okay. Well, the simplest way, simple. Fui. I went.
Fui a escalar un otro lugar, lugar diferente.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like I struggle because I start trying to say things the first way it comes to my mind in English instead of if I take a second and just rephrase it, I can and get it.
It's not bad. I mean, you could. Right. If this was coming, I would get you. It's like it would be like nothing, But we are in a lesson, so it's my job to correct.
No, exactly. Like no, yo sé. So un poco estoy siente un poco disappointed.
Un poco. Yeah. Decepcionado.
Pero hice hablo español con mis amigos esta mañana por a la café en la café.
Ajá.
Yeah. So un poco y yo pensar mucho más en español is rara. It's weird, but like I find myself practicing even though when I'm not really, but I'm thinking about it, like because I don't know, it's on my mind. Because
no, it's perfect. It's perfect. That's gonna put you far ahead, like you wouldn't believe, like amazingly so. Yeah,
it's really these things like we've talked about that like it's kind of intuitive in this way where it's just kind of sinking in more. And so because I'm around it, it's just always a little there. So even if I'm not actually engaged, like I said, I'm dropping a lot. No sé la palabra por eavesdrop. Solo chisme.
No, we just don't really have that phrase. We just say escuchando.
Yeah, escuchando y I notice that it's just like I said, I can naturally piece more of it together because even though it's a little jumbled and I'm still struggling and putting my own words together, my understanding has taken a big step forward in that. Like intuitive is not the right word because it's not intuitive, but it's almost like more muscle memory now. So where I don't have to struggle to try to figure it out. It's just, like I've moved on. I have these building blocks. So because I don't have to sort it out as much, I guess.
Do you remember that old game, Super Mario or whatever, where you walk on like a brick of wall, a wall of bricks, and you go and you jump from one brick to another, and you jump from brick to brick. They're like right, or you jump upwards to another brick, which you walk on. Those old 90s video games. This is basically what you have. You have those building blocks. Feel free. Like now you have the courage to jump. You're gonna land on another one. If you need to reach up, you have another one. Am I making sense? Do you get my visual?
I see, absolutely. Like, hago ¿cómo se dice agreement? Hago un I made an agreement. Hago
un de acuerdo, an agreement.
Un de acuerdo con mi amigo. Cuando vámonos a escalar el tiempo próximo. Él habla inglés y yo responder en español. Y porque nosotros o ambos, ¿cómo se dice? We
Well,
both?
ambos is both.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, either nosotros o ambos. Both, either or will work.
Es mejor. Podemos practicar.
See, there's 2 or 3 ways to say anything in Spanish.
Exactly.
You just saw
it. This is what I mean. I'm getting there quicker like this because I have these other little pieces to put together where, like I said, I've been studying the Duolingo and I knew some basics, like in a very controlled situation, like greetings. I could, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? I could go through those motions, but I couldn't piece it the further together, and I've reached that next stage to, like you said, it's the building block, and so I'm just quicker at piecing those things together. Like just then, in that regard, getting to podemos practicar juntos.
Okay, awesome. So
yeah.
We're gonna practicar right now.
Okay.
We've been going over the verb endings. I'm guessing you really didn't have time to write down anything. You would probably just print and download the docs I sent you. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Amos.
In our later lessons, we're going to make sure you manually write down all the map of everything, all the building blocks. What we're going to start with today is practicing the verb endings. We did we and them, which are super, super common, easy to recognize, very distinct sounds. So we're going to do those later because very few regular is very distinct. But what I do want to start is one of the harder ones. Now, what happens with the verb endings in the past tense for the I person, they're really similar for those of the present tense. It's kind of like you take half the verbs, and if in the present tense, they will end with an O, como, trabajo, vendo, veo, like about half of them will end with an O in the past tense. They kind of crisscross. You got 2 options in present, 2 options in past.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the most confusing themes by far. Plus, the downside is that past tenses are super common in conversations that, well, you can't avoid them. So we're going to do this right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to pull up your verb list, and you are going to start saying verbally the verbs with the I person ending. And I'm going to give you the rule for that. The rule is right now on the screen, and I'm also going to put the present tense verb ending, so you will see it as well, and that way you won't confuse. By the way, you can see that the verb endings in the past tense end with E or I, and they've got like tilde on top of the letter. Do you know what that tilde means and what sound to make when that shows up?
Yeah, it's the emphasis. So like the same way, emphasis. So yo estoy hablo, estoy hablé.
Well, like you're not going to use estoy. You're going to use an ing. So try again. You don't need the estoy.
Oh, so hablé con mi esposa esta mañana.
Yeah,
hablé.
Fantastic.
Instead of hablé, it's hablé. So
very good. So right now you see
it's
on the screen.
It's difficult para mí. Como, like you said, it's the nuance, but like at least now I recognize it. I just necesito practicar más.
Okay, we're going to practicar today. As you can see, if it ends with an O, any verb that ends with an O, that's present tense I person. If it ends with E and I, it's past tense. And then the he, she, it verb endings, it's basically the same structure, only wires crossed. So we'll do that later. and you write about the emphasis. Every time you see a tilde, it's making a harder sound on that letter. What I want you to do right now is I'm going to put the irregulars of the I person, and right after that, you're going to say out loud the verbs. And when you hit an irregular, I'm going to mention this list on the screen. So for right now, just please read this out loud from the screen as you see it.
So wait. From starting with the irregulars?
Yeah, just read the irregulars out loud right now. Yes.
Kisi.
Hise. Is for Edward.
Hise,
You see
yeah.
an E is for Edward.
Hise. Di. Vi. Fui. Estaba. Tenía.
Sabía.
Tenía. Oh yeah, yeah. Tenía. Vine. Venía.
Or venía. Okay, one more. Vine or
Vine.
venía.
Vine. Venía.
Vine, venía.
Venía. Sabía.
Sabía. Yeah, very good.
Sabía. Puse.
Sabía.
Ponía. Pedí. Pedía.
Pedía. Okay.
Pedí.
And
Pedí. Pedía.
uh-huh. Okay. And you know that you're seeing some of them are giving you two options because it's either a one and done or not one and done action. And the ones that are really frequent, I gave you two options. You can just pick the one you like. As you can see, vine and venía, they're like, they don't really seem like they're related. If you just look at them on the screen, they don't look like brothers, right? So that's
right.
A little bit of tricky, but nothing you can't handle. Right.
Right.
Now,
it's like,
sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying, it's like you said, it's just, it's eventually it'll be clear which one is right, but just, I can kind of recognize it in the pattern because of, it's still following the formula. Even if it is an irregular, it's still like, at least in the ballpark. And if I
Let me give you this example. It's like playing tennis. Like if I'm your tennis instructor and you're just learning, which is you are, like you basically know like 3 serves, right? This, that, and that, right? The more you develop as a tennis player, you get like variations. You'll get more tools in your arsenal. Those are those tools. That makes sense?
Be clear.
Excellent. So now read your list of verbs out loud with those endings.
The whole list, right?
Yeah, because I want you to say them out loud so you like get used to the saying or pronunciation and everything.
Yeah. Hise. Di. Vi. Is Yami or Yame? Yame. Okay.
You know why? Because it ends with
Record. So recordé. Perdí. Encontré. Busqué.
Exactly.
Busqué. Olvidé. Dejé.
Perfect.
So, oh wait, this is always the weird one. So,
well, here you know that it
here is just
always gets a designated word. So,
fue.
Excellent.
Fue.
Yes.
It just it takes my brain a minute to go. Oh, fui.
Because that's die. Yeah.
Fui. And veni and vene. No, venia. Vene. That's one of the ones.
Venia is good. You can use venia. Yeah.
Regressé. Llegué. Llegué. Esperé. Entré. Salí. Salí. Abrí.
Yep.
I know that one. And seré.
Perfect.
Decidí.
Yeah.
Oí.
Oí.
Oí. Oí.
Oí.
Oí. Oí. Oye.
Olé.
Ole.
Olé.
Ole. Yeah. Ole. Ole. Ve.
V.
It's V. Oh yeah.
It's
Okay.
just
V.
yeah, it's just
V.
like D and V. Same. D, V, and
V.
Qui.
Mare. Mare. Sente.
Senti. T.
But to sit down, sente and senti. To spiel,
Yeah, senti y
sente.
senti.
I
That's
sat,
really funny.
senti,
In the past
sente.
tense, they get to be the same.
Yeah. Okay, senti. Yave.
Yeah.
Treye.
Trai.
Trai. Okay, it's gonna stick in a minute.
It's gonna stick in a minute. Okay, go.
Vendi. Vendi. Rente. Pague. Compre. Descanse. Dormi. Sonne. Limpy.
Limpié.
Limpia.
Limpié.
Limpia.
Limpié.
Limpie.
Limpié.
It's a lot of syllables, okay. Bane. Banye.
Bagne. Yeah, make the.
Banye. Yeah, that N is very important. Banye.
Yeah.
Vivi.
Vivi.
Move. Or no, movie.
Move or movi. Either move or movi. You pick which one you want.
Sube. Subi Camino or El Camino.
Subí las escaleras.
Subí.
O subiste a San Diego.
Baje. Oh yeah, otro lado.
Bajaste a Cabo y subiste a San Diego.
So subí a otro lado. Aquí es solo otro lado is whatever I say.
Okay,
no one ever says I'm going to San Diego or I'm crossing the border. They just go voy a otro lado.
Have you ever heard of being called Gringolandia?
Sí, Gringolandia.
There you go. Yeah, that's what we say here. Vamos a Gringolandia.
Gringolandia. Yeah. Por Marshalls y Ross. Just for less.
I'm gonna go to Sephora. That's it.
But okay, so ayude.
Ayude. Yeah.
Ayude. Tini.
Veni.
Tenía.
There you go. Yeah.
Is mismo, right? Tenía. This is what I mean. Like it'll make sense where the one comes sense, but either one is. It's that. At
this point of the game, it doesn't matter
temporary.
for you. For you, it doesn't matter because you're gonna make so many other mistakes. So this is negligible. Year 2, it will become like important or whatever for you, right? No worries.
Termine, maneje, estacione. Yeah. Pare. Camine. Camine. Porque es AR.
Yep, así es.
Estaba.
Very good, yes.
Estaba.
To be actually frank with you, it's estuve.
But
remember, I gave you 2 options back then. Pick the one you remember that's easier for you. Just 100% okay.
Sure. So, pregunte.
Yeah.
Pregunte. Conteste. Explique. Sabe.
Sali.
Wait,
what are you reading? Which one? What is the verb?
Yo sé. Saber.
Sabía. By the nature of the action, you're going to use sabía.
Sabía. Conoce or conocía?
Conoce o conocía. Either or.
Pense. Ponía. Right, that's one that could be Either one. I'm starting to see it. Like I'm starting to see what you mean. Like either one makes sense. I don't know how to explain that, but like looking at like pony or ponia,
Yep.
I you know,
Ponio, exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
limp, uh, limpia, limpia,
Yep. Yep.
conoce, comi,
Me. Yeah.
comi,
Me.
see, probe,
Yep.
pense, viare, viare.
No, viajare would be viajare with B. Make it sense. Viaje.
Viaje. Viaje. Viaje.
Your first clue is that you heard an R. If you heard yourself saying an R, that's not this.
Yeah. Again, that's just necesito más práctica. It's mere, but it's wild to me that like that makes sense because in one way, a week ago, if you told me that, it wouldn't make sense. But looking at certain words and going, oh, it could be either or because of this. Some guy, I forget his name, it's an actor that's been going around with a quote about the existential nature of Spanish, how like we're talking about the things being permanent and temporary at the same time. It's unique, you know, so that concept, but I'm starting to see it. Okay, so anyway, this is a hard one because sigue?
Sigue. Yeah,
Sigue?
sigue.
Sigue. Sigue.
Uh-huh.
Tomé.
Uh-huh.
Y tomé también. Dibe or dibia.
Okay.
Empeze. Empeze. Pere.
Empecé. Empecé.
Empecé. Empecé. Pere. Jugué. Jugué.
Yeah.
Jugué un PlayStation. Okay. Quiere. Quiere en mi casa anoche.
Quedé.
Quedé.
Listen, the trick here, let me give you a tool. The secret to this and all the other verb endings, verb conjugations, aka verb endings, you literally say the root verb as you would normally, only mute yourself on the last two letters and say the ending out loud. So unless it's an irregular, it's going to work by this formula all the time. Listen to this. Empezar, empecé.
Okay. Empezar,
empecé. Jugar,
pedir,
jugué. Pedir,
okay. Pedir, pedí.
okay.
Jugar, que. Quedar, querer. Entender, entender. Entender. Recibe.
Entendí. Entendí, because
entendí.
Entender. It ends with an
yeah. Yeah. Entender is entendí. Recibir is recibí or recibir?
Recibí.
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 Okay.
I'll type it in. Entendí and recibí. Okay, that's why I offer you conversation practice times, because you need it. Like, that's no way it's gonna stick for you all the five. Actually, it's 5 people, 2 variations. It's 10 verb endings in one lesson. No way. So,
it's very interesting how that duality, like estaba, estuve, how I don't know. It's intuitive is not the right word, but there's something that's connected in my brain now that blockage that you have at first when you look at it and go, what is gone? And so I recognize quicker.
A blockage is gone.
Entendí, yeah. Yes. Conocí, pedí. And awesome. And that's like, I know the only way the accent pronunciation is going to get better is just saying it out loud, because at least I recognize it. You know what I mean? I recognize that it's supposed to be like we're saying, the accent at the end. The problem is remembering to always do it, but that's what works, because when I say it wrong, my friends will laugh.
Let me help. It's not a problem. The problem is I'm not a good skier. That's not the problem. The problem is it's going to take 10 months between me starting to ski today and becoming a good skier. So it's not a problem. It's like reframe it. It's not a problem. It's something else.
Mi chamba is practicar, porque yo entiendo mucho más, pero hablar sigue difícil para mí. Que no es mi lengua primera.
Listen, if I am able to teach you speak Spanish with like every lesson you take, boom, you know the topic, you're ready to lift off, like within 15, 25 lessons, you speak the language, I will be richer than Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I'll say.
And if you want to partner up and come up with that method, I'm.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's it's interesting because, man, I'm getting so much more benefit than just speaking the language. I really think it's such a healthy exercise for your brain, like the neuroplasticity of learning another language. And then 100%. Just that exercise of, just the step of I'm getting better at like rephrasing it in my head before I speak, not just saying out the words. I'm used to just blah, word vomit, not even knowing what I'm saying at the time, right? And so just the fact of needing, because my vocabulary is in Spanish is smaller, and needing to rephrase the idea I want to convey. Something about that exercise is helping me across all my problem solving and coding and everything. It really relates, because it's something in your brain about how you're breaking a problem into smaller chunks that really translates into learning.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And so like what were we saying the other day? But it was just like, even if I'm getting it a little wrong, I'm saying the words out of order, or I hear them, there's something happening in my brain now automatically that puts them in the right order, or recognizes the idea, even if the words seem kind of scrambled at first, so.
Fantastic, 100% everything you just said. Okay, this was good. I'm going to task you with doing this again verbally out loud in your own time during the week, 2-3 times a week at night. Second thing you can do to practice this is write down on a sticky note a few sentences. Go tell them to people. Oh, I saw that you have a new brand of milk. You could say that in the store. Or tell your friend, I went someplace. Or like literally look for opportunities to say those things to people. Every week, write down 2-3 phrases. Say them. Next week, write a new list of sentences. Say them. That's one sneaky way to, sneak in practice into your weekly routine with very low effort. Okay?
Sure.
Awesome. Right now, we're going to do the second hard part of it, which is the he, she, it. And you're going to see how similar they are. What I do want to show you, however, is I just want to take one more minute to repeat my point of that every past tense verb ending that I'm giving you. As you notice, I only give you like one set of verb endings that's going to cover your needs. Only technically there is another one that the locals will be saying. Once you're ready to take those on, we'll do that after the New Year's, because it's impossible to learn them both in 5-month frame. So, when in doubt, when you hear something you're not sure, or maybe you just 100% remember the New Year's I had, and all of a sudden somebody says some other word, and you understand them, but it's not the word you know how to say. This is why. Just remember that. This is why, right? And for all intents and purposes, you can make 100,000 mistakes with those all the time you want. It doesn't matter, because with time you will get them both in, especially when you live here. You're listening to it all the time. You're very exposed to Spanish. It will naturally correct itself with time. The only variable is time. That's the only missing ingredient in the equation. You can sit here with me 10 more months. You can go out and live your life 10 more months. It's going to happen still. Right?
Sure. Claro.
Next. The common ones, when I give you two options, because they're both very common, I recommend you write them both. Do your best to alternate, or just leave it out for time. Like, no problem. It's a very individual approach. Okay. So the he, she, it verb ending. There we go. He, she, it person. One of the endings is also with an O, only that O has a tilde on it. So that what makes it, it's like how the difference shows itself.
Okay.
Okay, I have a hack for you as well. I'm going to save it for the end. We're going to finish the lesson. I'm going to give you a really neat cheat sheet one of my clients came up with. She's a brilliant person, brilliant. Only she was diagnosed with some learning disability, this or the other. She's 68 years old right now. So back in her time, there was no, dyslexic diagnostic or nothing like that. She just naturally thought she was special.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, dyslexic people are able to build bridges where other people can't. So she came up with this brilliant thing. Actually, she and her former teacher. She actually had a teacher before me for 2 years. They worked together for 2 years. Then the teacher said to her, it's a local girl from Puerto Vallarta, and she said, I have nothing left to teach you. Like, that's it. We've reached our cap together. And she went and she found me, and we worked together for another year. And she's driving around, listening to the Spanish radio, out and about on town, and having a blast. So she was like 65 at the time. That was 3 years ago when we stopped working together. So that's pretty impressive. I'll show you the hack she gave me, but that's going to be at the end of the time, okay?
Okay.
So now we're going to do some hard work. These are the verb endings. Please read the list of verbs again with those.
This is where I know I struggle because it's that accent, the pronunciation. So, hago. Because that emphasis. So, dao.
Oh, you know what? Let me put the irregulars because, like I said, they're irregulars because you stand no chance of like guessing what they are. So I'm just gonna put them on the screen. Yeah, my bad. I should have put them straight away.
Dio. Okay. Dio. Vio.
Dio.
Okay.
Dio.
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 Dio. Vio. Fui.
Dio. 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 Dio.
Joe. 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 Vio. And
why don't you have one of your friends, you know what, get one of your Baja friends to tell you those and listen to how they say. I would rather you pick up the natural Baja accent, not mine, not some friend from Mexico City.
Okay? So, is fue, instead of fue, estaba.
That's why they're called irregulars, you see? They don't follow the formula at all.
Mm-hmm. But it makes sense, like you said. It does make sense when you get this kind of guidelines for it. So, llamó,
recordó, sí.
That's why it's so subtle, like the emphasis on the end. That's where I struggle, but okay.
One thing, one thing you can do is instead of just focusing on the last letter that needs to be emphasized, what you can do is the last two letters. The last two letters. So llamó. It's not only the O that I make strong, it's the M-O. Do you notice me?
Llamó.
Yes. So try that.
So recordó. Perdió.
Perdió. Yes.
Perdió.
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 You know, try to say
And
Sergio. Like, how would you say Sergio?
Sergio?
Yeah, you know the name, Sergio. Sergio. How do you say that in Spanish?
Sergio.
No, you don't say Gio, you say Gio. Sergio.
Sergio.
Awesome. The way you say that name, the Sergio, you notice that there's like an actual strong sound at the end. The same way. Perdió. Llamó, trabajó, buscó, vendió, llegó. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, encontró. That's my alarm for lessons going off. Sorry. Buscó.
Yeah, very good.
Olvidó.
Very good.
Dejó. And good. Then fue, which we were just talking about. Fue. Yep. Vino. Okay, vino. Regresó. Llegó.
It's actually vino. You're not wrong. It's vino, but by the nature of the action, the most common is the other one I'm not showing you here. So I'm just saying it's vino. Okay?
No, but it's like you said, it's in context, I feel like I recognize it in that pattern, but anyway, regreso, Diego, espero, in intro, salió, or just salió, abrió.
Yep, very good.
Abrió. Cerró. Decidió. Decidió.
Decir is dijo.
Dijo. So decidijo.
No, only dijo is decir and decidió. Decir is the only one that gets irregular on the he, she, it past tense.
Dejo, decido.
Dijo.
Decidió.
And decidió. Decidió is normal with the formula.
Decidió. Dijo, decidió. And oír is that's the weird one again. It's oyo.
Exactly. You're very good. Yeah.
And ole. Olio.
Very good.
Vio. Miro.
Notice my R gets strong as well.
Yeah, miro. Sento.
Sentió. Yeah, it's the same thing with sentir and sentar.
El siento allá.
Sento is he sat.
Mm-hmm.
If it's difficult or like just easy to remember, it's sentió. Like in the past tenses, the he and the I, they like just got one version. Otherwise, you're dealing with like 6. So.
Yeah. Okay. Llevó. Trajo.
Traer is also trajo. Yeah.
Trajo. Oh, it's irregular. So it's the ho. Trajo.
Just on this one. It's not irregular as a whole. That person in the past tense happens to be. That's like confusing. Like they kind of pop up all over the board unexpectedly.
I know though, but when I hear it in the sentence, it will make sense at the time because of whatever word is following it. You know, this is what I mean. Like I kind of recognize that pattern, and it just where before it all sounded like a song to me, Spanish, just rhyming in all these ways. Now I have some context to that pattern. So like even like you said, whether it's the Inya or it still just makes sense in the moment. You know, like
Perfect.
I don't know how to
Perfect.
explain it. I'm starting to recognize it like that. Try, like even if I'm saying it wrong, if I heard that, I can still recognize the root verb now. I guess that's what it comes down. I recognize the root verb better, even if I don't know the word. I can hear what they said and guess what the root verb is. And from the root verb it's always easier. The to, you know, like vender, to sell
Yes.
is making it easier for me to find the English things. That's kind of the path I'm tracking on it.
That is a perfect work with it. Yeah.
Yeah, like so again, it goes back to what we were saying, that deconstruction of something into smaller, you know, it's like retro engineering. But so vendio.
Vendio. Look at vender. Like that's what when I talk about like there's a formula to saying it, the verb naturally breaks down most of the verbs in almost all the time tenses. Then there, like I could put a dash in the ven. I'm gonna tell ven there. Now listen to me saying them in various time tenses, and you're gonna see how it really breaks out. Ven dio, ven damos, ven dieron, ven diendo. Do you see like the break is always in the end? Like you see what the break is? It's always the same, and then the verb ending vary. Same thing. You could do that if that helps. Like, that's again. That's
no, it is. It's just again. Siempre necesito practicar más. But yo entiendo. Vendió, rento, pagó, yo pagó.
Listen to rento.
Pagó.
Hang on a second. Rento. Rento, I rent. Rentó, he, she, it rent.
Yeah.
Rento. Like the whole toe thing gets strong, right? That's so again training your ear and.
Yo sé, so entonces pagó. Yeah, it's very subtle, and that's what I mean.
Yo pago, él pagó. That's the subtlety. Exactly.
Yeah. Está un poco más difícil solo hablar la palabra, because Spanish almost needs the other words in context. This is where these irregulars.
It looks impossible for English speakers. Like even when I came to Mexico 15 years ago, I was like, what is this craziness? How do you expect people to learn that? This makes zero sense, right?
Yeah.
Give it enough years, it makes all the sense in the world. So.
Yeah, it's weird. It's interesting. So okay. So compró, descanso.
Actually, the way you just said it is I in the present tense.
Sorry, descanso. I descanso. Descansó.
Yes, very good, perfect.
That's
yes.
Again, it's just that subtleness that, like, it's interesting because, like you said, 2 weeks ago, that, or maybe along with that, but like that wouldn't make sense to me because it's so subtle. But like now, like understanding it, it's so related to the other words, and it makes so much sense to what I know about Spanish people and the way they're so. The reason they like chisme and they care about family, it's so baked into the language. Like all these little things, like it's starting to come together like that. Like I don't know, it's super interesting.
I like give it a few more months, it's gonna be glaringly obvious. That subtle difference is like an ocean apart.
Exacto. But like when you don't, again, it's training the ear. When you've never heard it, it all sounds the same thing. That's why those memes are funny. Like como, yo como. You know, like it's funny. But then it's kind of magical in this way how it suddenly makes sense because it just sounds right. I know I keep going back to that, and that's not an explanation, but magical. Yeah, it just sounds right. So okay, so limpió, bañó, viví,
vivió,
vivió,
fish it.
Y movió. Subió. Subió las.
Subir, subir, subió.
Subió.
Notice how I changed the ear with the yo. Like the word didn't change. It's subió, subir.
Sí, claro. Y bajo.
Bajó. Yes, bajó.
It's so subtle. It's interesting. Bajo. Ayudó.
No, very good. Yeah.
Tenio.
Yo, yeah.
Terminó.
Terminó, yeah. Él terminó. Mi esposa
Terminó.
terminó a trabajar.
Terminó. Manejó. San Diego ayer. Estacionó.
Very good.
Paró.
Paró, yeah.
Paró.
Paró. Yeah.
Sí. Caminó. No, it's a camino, is a camino. See, it's so subtle.
Yes.
It's weird. Like even in my brain, like I can hear the difference to where like I couldn't, a few months ago, I couldn't even hear it. So
perfect.
In some ways, it still doesn't make sense to me, but like, okay. So roll, camino, and a star is wait, this is the
estuvo.
Estuvo.
Or estuvo, yeah.
Or estuvo.
Estuvo or estaba, either or. Same thing. But notice this one works.
Mm-hmm. Pregunto. Contesto. Explico.
Yeah, very good. Explico.
Sabe? No, sabi or sabio?
No, that one becomes completely irregular. It's supe and supo.
Supe
And supo.
That's one of their ones. Supe. Como pone.
I was like, when I first heard that, I thought those people are completely nuts. Like they're talking about soup. What in the hell?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So conoció and pensó and ponio, or no, that's another one.
Yeah.
Poner is another weird one, right?
Ponyo. Well,
Ponyo.
no, this one, it's
Ponyo.
weird in the I, but it's not weird in the he, in the past tense only.
Yeah. It's crazy. Español es una lengua muy hermosa. Interesante. La gente también, pues, but son some of my favorite people, though, for sure. Okay, so limpio.
Very good, yeah.
Cocinó.
Listen to this. Mi esposa cocinó. What did she cook for you last supper?
Oh yeah. But like this is why Spanish is fun, because in my head I just did this thing where I went cocinó en la cocina like I just want to do this bobina banana fana foot, like I want to do this whole thing in my head. But it's interesting because like it's starting to make sense how it does those weird things. Anyway, so comí
yeah,
y probó pensó.
Él pensó.
Viajó. This one's tough, always a tough word for me anyway. Siguió. Tomó.
Tomo. Super simple. Tomo.
Yeah. Tomo.
Took. Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Like tomo. Like I say that right now. Tomo.
Wait,
like now,
tomo.
like
If you say like this, then it means
Tomo.
I drink.
Yeah.
You gotta make the mo super hard.
Yeah. That's why it's making sense, but it's still tough. I struggle with it. So, the bio, or the bio,
Debio. All the last two letters super hard.
The bio, empazo. Empezo. Yeah. A-I. Is it pero or pedido?
Pedió. Either pido or pedió. Again, that's like subtleties we're not going to go into. Never mind.
No,
it makes me sound crazy. Like, you're going to play that back this lesson, you're not going to understand. So like,
no, it's funny, but this is what I'm saying. Like, it just kind of makes sense, but without having another word in context, it's hard to explain. It just, again, it really comes back to, it just fits. The right one, when you hear it, just, I don't know.
It just fits. Yes,
yeah, it just fits
naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
So let's try this. So quedó, quiero. Is it dio or do? Quiero.
I'm sorry. Quedó. Close your eyes. I'm going to say that 3 times in a row. Let's train your ear. Close your eyes.
Quedó.
Tomó. Vendió. Well, that doesn't work. But quedó.
Solo, it just requires practice, because it's just that subtlety. Like, at least I recognize it. So like that's the first step, is knowing it exists. So entendió. Recibo.
It ends with an IR, so it's an IO, right?
Oh, recibió. So,
okay. You know what I'm going to recommend? Hang on, Douglas. Print the list of verbs again, and then take your pen and title it past tense verb endings, and then you're just going to write down ARO, IRER, IO, right as you see it on the screen. That way you can have various printouts. Like, if you print the list of verbs multiple times and just write out manually on each one the different verb endings, you're going to have a folder you can refer to, and at some point that you will retain it more. Does that make sense? It's way more practical that way physically than just seeing a bunch of notes on the screen and all that stuff. Yeah. Good. Okay. Now I promised you the hacks. I'm going to give it to you.
Awesome.
So these are Linda's hands. And because she was so challengingly brilliant, Linda, my student, took her hands, and then you write down the verb endings on everything.
That's genius.
These are all the verb endings. Yes. Present and past. Right? I'm not even going to tell you which is which, because now you know them by now.
Yeah, no, it made, like, this is genius. This is actually great.
Awesome. Actually, this is only the past tense. There's another one with the present, but this is just the past tense. So perfect.
But like,
there you go.
It will work for every tense. I can see it. I already see like what she did here. Like, it really works for every tense. You could do the same. It's just like it fits perfectly with like your circles, the idea, like the building blocks, and that's really good.
There you go.
Awesome. That's great.
Work today.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you.
All right.